Hi everyone, today we're going to look at the I can statement, I can divide fractions, and we're going to get right down to it with negative 2/3 divided by 1/5. Now this is a division problem, and so I'm going to use my punched in the eye guy to help figure out what my final answer is going to be, and it is a negative, so I'll cross that one off, divided by a positive, so my answer, my final answer, is going to be a negative number. So I'm just going to make a final answer box over there and put my negative in it, and then I don't have to worry about my sign at all anymore. Now we kind of have a trick that helps us when we're dividing fractions, and it's keep, change, flip. And it's actually talking about the three different parts of our problem here. So we are going to keep the negative 2/3, change the division sign, and flip the 1/5. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's keep the negative 2/3 exactly how it is. We are going to change the division sign to multiplication, and we're going to flip or do the reciprocal of 1/5. So that's 5/1. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and treat it just exactly like multiplication problem, because now it is 1. 2 times 5 is 10. 3 times 1 is 1. 10 divided by 1 is 10. I'm going to put that in my final answer box, and remember that it was a negative 10. All right, so that's my first problem. I'm going to go ahead and delete that, and let's talk about another type of problem where you're dividing. 15 divided by negative 5/7. Again, this is a division problem, and so I'm going to use my punched in the eye guy. It's a positive divided by a negative. So again, my final answer is going to be negative. I'm just going to go ahead and make a final answer box and stick a negative symbol in there so I don't have to worry about it. Division, fractions, keep, change, flip. So I'm going to do the same thing where I'm going to keep the first number the same, change the division to multiplication, and flip or find the reciprocal of that last fraction. So 15 times, instead of negative 5/7, it's going to be negative 7/5. Now, before I can multiply, I need to turn 15 into a fraction, which is easily done just by putting it over 1. That doesn't change the value, but it puts it in a fraction form, so I'm able to multiply straight across. But before we do, I'm going to show you a little bit of a trick here. We refer to this as ninja simplification. We check our corners, so the 15 and the 5, and I'm trying to save myself multiplying and working with really large numbers. So I'm going to actually try and simplify this problem before I get to the end of it. So 15 and 5, I'm going to try and come up with a number that I can divide both of those by while getting a whole number. And I can divide them both by 5. So I'm going to do that. Divide 15 by 5 and 5 by 5. 15 divided by 5 is 3, so now that's the number I'm going to use, and 5 divided by 5 is 1. So you can see I totally simplify this problem by making the numbers not as big. Now if I check my other corners, I'm going to try and change colors here. Here we go. If I check my other corners, I have 1 and 7, and I can't simplify those numbers anymore. So that's as good as those get. So now I'm just going to go back to my multiplication. 3 times 7 is 21. 1 times 1 is 1. 21 divided by 1 is 21. So I'll go over to my box and put that in there. All right, we're going to do one more type of problem here for dividing fractions, and this time we're going to use mixed numbers. So I have 1 3/4 divided by negative 2 1/2. Go ahead and get my punched in the eye guy. I have a positive divided by a negative. My final answer is going to be negative. Before I can keep, change, flip here, I'm going to need to change these to improper. So 1 times 4 is 4, plus the 3 is 7, and then it's still over 4, divided by. 2 times 2 is 4, plus the 1 is 5. So my equivalent problem that I'm dealing with is 7/4 divided by -5/2. Now I can keep, change, flip. So my new problem will be 7/4, keep, change to multiplication, and then flip. So use the reciprocal of that, 5/2. All right, I can go ahead and check my corners. 7 and 5. I can't think of anything that would work. Now I'm going to check the other corners. 4 and 2. That one I can divide them both by 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. So I have 7 times 1 is 7. 2 times 5 is 10. I can't simplify that anymore, so I go up to my final answer box, and I have -7/10. So hopefully talking through those 3 different types of division problems help you so that you can now divide fractions.